Sir, I think you're in the wrong seat. Samantha Reeves stood over 12C, arms crossed. The man sitting there, hoodie, worn jeans, scuffed sneakers, didn't blink. No, he said simply, holding up a boarding pass with a faint smile. Her eyes narrowed. This is a premium route. That ticket should have cost over $1,000. He gave a shrug, not rude. Just annoyingly calm. Samantha didn't like being thrown off. She prided herself on order. People like him didn't fly with them unless they were trouble or trying to sneak into first class. She moved on, but her gut told her something was off. Mid-flight, turbulence hit hard. The cabin jolted. Samantha rushed through to check passengers when she spotted 12C standing. Sit down, she barked. I was helping the man behind me, he said, steady as ever. She pointed him down, fuming. Something about the way he moved, like he didn't answer to anyone, made her uneasy. Not arrogant, just aware. Too aware. Later, as she checked system diagnostics in the galley, anomalies popped up. First-class screens glitched. Wi-Fi rebooted. Cabin lights dimmed oddly. Maintenance issues? Or sabotage? She glanced toward 12C. Lily, her co-attendant, leaned in. You're thinking what I'm thinking? Samantha whispered. He's not who he says he is. She pulled his record from the system. Blocked. Just a name. N. Carson. Override code listed under executive travel. Her heart jumped. She flagged the captain, who walked down to speak with the passenger discreetly. Minutes later, the captain returned, stunned. That's Nathaniel Carson, he muttered. Samantha stared. Who? The chairman. He owns the airline. Her face went pale. She had ordered the owner of the airline to sit down like a child. Moments later, Carson stepped into first class without a word. But as he exited the plane at arrival, he turned to Samantha with a nod. You've got sharp instincts, he said. You'll be hearing from us. He disappeared down the jet bridge. Samantha stood frozen. She had no idea if that was a compliment or the start of her last flight. Samantha's phone rang the next morning, unlisted number. This is Samantha. Ms. Reeves, this is Carol Hensley, Corporate HR, Executive Division. Mr. Carson would like to see you today, 2 p.m., Midtown Tower, 38th floor. Click. She barely had time to breathe. She showed up in her uniform, safe, polished, professional, her heart pounding like a warning drum. The receptionist waved her through the private elevator. No sign-in, no badge, just silence. Doors slid open to a sleek glass-walled office. At the far end stood the man she barked at midair, Nathaniel Carson, now in a tailored suit, looking every bit the executive billionaire. Come in, he said calmly. Samantha stepped inside. I watched how you handled the flight, he said. Firm. Alert. You didn't crack under pressure. I like that. I didn't know who you were, she blurted. Exactly. He leaned back. Which made it real, she swallowed. Am I being disciplined? He smiled. No. Offered, Samantha blinked. Offered what? I need someone to help audit the in-flight crew experience, secretly, from within. You'd report directly to me. Her jaw hung open. Why me? Because you judged me on behavior, not clothes. That's rare, she hesitated. But you're asking me to spy? I am asking you to observe, discreetly. No one knows who you are. That's power. It felt insane, risky, dangerous. But something inside her sparked curiosity. And something else. Challenge. I'll do it, she said. Carson nodded once. Good. Your first flight's tomorrow. Different airline. Different city. Your ticket's booked. He handed her an envelope. Inside was a first-class boarding pass and a slim black card that simply read, Field Liaison. Executive Observation Unit. Keep it to yourself, he said. You're invisible now. As she walked out of the office, the elevator doors closing behind her, Samantha knew one thing for sure. She wasn't flying coach anymore. She was flying blind. Samantha slid into seat 2A, her new uniform replaced by a sleek, civilian outfit. Hair up, minimal makeup, expression unreadable. No longer just a flight attendant, now a ghost in the system. Across the aisle, a senior flight attendant strutted with overconfidence, ignoring passengers unless they wore Rolexes. Samantha made mental notes. The man in 3C, a military vet with a prosthetic leg, asked for help stowing his carry-on. The attendant rolled her eyes and told him to wait. Strike one. The passenger in 1F politely asked for a blanket. They're in the bin. Get it yourself, the same attendant snapped. Strike two. Samantha's fingers hovered over her notes. She wasn't used to watching without acting. But this was her job now. Observe. Report. Don't interfere. Until it got worse. Mid-flight, turbulence hit. Nothing major, but enough to rattle cups. The attendant in question vanished into the galley, leaving her junior alone to manage it all. Samantha stayed buckled, watching as panic grew in 4D, where a child began to cry. His mother rang the call button twice. No one came. She cracked. Standing, she moved swiftly, knelt by the child, comforted him, calmed the mother, then returned quietly to her seat. The junior attendant, startled, whispered, "Who are you?" Samantha just smiled. Just a passenger. When the flight landed, the lead attendant finally reappeared, sipping soda, not even acknowledging the chaos she left behind. As passengers deplaned, a discreet tap on Samantha's phone lit up. Meet me outside gate 6. Black SUV. Don't speak. Outside, the vehicle door opened. Nathaniel Carson sat in the back. Well, he asked. Samantha handed him her notes. He read them in silence, nodded once. Exactly what I needed. Then he looked up. You broke protocol, he said. She stiffened. You intervened. You weren't supposed to. I wasn't going to watch that child panic while she hid in the galley. A pause. Good, he said. I wanted to see if you would. He handed her another envelope. New boarding pass. New assignment. International. Next flight's out in 4 hours. She looked at him. This was a test? Every flight is, he replied. And just like that, Samantha realized something else. She wasn't observing the airline. She was being tested for something bigger. Paris to New York. Overnight. First class. Samantha boarded without a uniform, just confidence. She belonged now. Not as crew, but as something more dangerous. An insider who knew what the surface tried to hide. Seat 1A was hers. A man in 1B glanced at her. Expensive suit. Fake smile. eyes full of entitlement. She pegged him instantly. The type who thought the cabin was his kingdom. Midway through the flight, it began again. An older woman asked the crew for assistance. Ignored. A nervous passenger asked for water. Shrugged off. The lead flight attendant flirted with 1B while the rest of the cabin was neglected. Samantha gritted her teeth. Same pattern. Different airline. Then things escalated. A loud argument broke out between a man in 2D and the passenger in 1B. Something about a stolen briefcase. Voices rose. The flight crew panicked. No one stepped in. Samantha stood. "Sir?" she said firmly to 1B. "Sit down." He sneered. "Who do you think you are?" She reached into her handbag and showed him the black card. His face drained of color. "Executive Liaison," she said quietly. "Now. Sit." He obeyed. After the flight, she was escorted, not to customs, but through a private door. There, in a high-rise office above JFK, Carson waited. He stood with a smile. "Congratulations." "For what?" she asked. "For passing the last test." "I don't need an observer anymore, Samantha. I need a partner." She blinked. "You've seen the cracks," he said. "You know what to fix. And you've proven you'll act when no one else will." He reached into a drawer and placed a small metal pin on the desk. VP of In-Flight Operations. Full authority. Starting today. She stared at it. Stunned. "But I'm just..." He cut her off. "You were a flight attendant. Now you're the one training the next generation." She took the pin. It felt heavier than it looked. As she left the office, the skyline glittering beyond the windows, Samantha finally understood what Carson had seen in her on that first flight. She didn't serve coffee. She ran the sky.